Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me. Now, I've had quite a few people who have asked me would I show how to make what I call the expandable pocket. So I'll be happy to show how to do that. I know a lot of other people have videos on it. So we'll just do one quick. I need a few for my journal anyway. I'm going to make a few for this journal that we're working on. And then, where's my other one? There it is. I'm going to make a few for this journal that we're working on. So we'll make some different sizes and I'll make them the size that I need for my journal. And then I'll tell you how you can determine how to make them the size that you need for your journal. But before we get started into that, I wanted to say thank you to a few people who are helping support us through Buy Me a Coffee. That link is below if you want to check it out. You don't have to donate anything. You can just go over and read about it if you want. Graceful, Sandra, Joanne, Elvia, Doris, So Crafty Me, D.W. Clance, Debbie, ESTVDM50, Susanna, Needles and Sticks, Transcender Traveler, CM York 43. Thank you guys so much for your donations. We really appreciate it. It is helping us out, and what we're doing with the money is we're using it to buy materials to do videos with, as well as new video equipment. We got new lighting coming in very soon that should help us out on some things. And then I had a suggestion from one of the people that gives a donation that I had said something about I'd like to have a brother scan and cut, and they said, well, why don't you just use that coffee money and buy you one? So I may do that once I get a little bit built up in there. Okay, so let's get started on this. Now, what I do is I determine, let's just say we'll make one for this journal first. I just determined the width that I need. So if I needed one for this page right here, I don't need it any wider than 5 inches because my spine's right here and you don't want your pocket to come all the way up into your spine. So I don't need it any wider than 5. And then, let's see, really 4.5 is probably going to be as tall as I need. So 5 by 4.5. So what I do, let's just use this piece of paper for instance. This is 6 inches, which is perfect width because I need it to be 5. And then what you're going to do is add a 1/2 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side to fold under. So that would be, I'm going to add 1 inch onto that 5, so 6 inches, perfect. Then for your height, if you want to turn down a piece at the top, sometimes I do, depending on how thick the paper is. This paper's nice and thick, so I don't think I'll need to. But if you want to turn down a 1/2 inch at the top to make the top a little bit more sturdy, then just think about this way. You're going to add 1 inch on as well. So if I'm going to make it 4.5 tall, that's how tall I want the finished pocket to be, then I need to add a 1/2 inch if I'm not going to fold the top over, or 1 inch if I'm going to fold the top over. So we'll go ahead and put the inch on there. So 4.5, this needs to be 5.5. So all I need to do is cut off a 1/2 inch here. Now, don't worry, this will get much clearer once I start making everything. And I will go over this many times, so you don't have to worry about getting it down pat the first time. So I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off there, and I'm going to leave the height and I'm going to leave the width the same. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put it on our scoreboard, and we're going to grab a scoring tool, and you're going to score. This is my width, so it's 6 inches. So I'm going to score it a 1/2 inch here, and then I'm going to score at 5.5 here, which would be a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch on both sides. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch here and at 5 inches here. Now this is going to turn out to be a 5 by 4.5 pocket. So So we're going to go around and just fold all these over and burnish. You can do this with book pages, digitals, whatever you have. Scrap paper. This is just some extra scrap paper that I had in my stash, and I'm going to use it. Okay, I had to go searching for my black scissors. Okay, you're going to trim off just a little wedge out of that corner. I go all the way up to the score line, and I just take a little angle out of it. I don't cut it straight across. To me, that's a little bit overkill, so I just do just a little wedge out. And I know I have shown how to do these before, but as I've said in other videos, we have a lot of new people who are just learning how to do some of these things. So now this, as I said, is going to be an expandable pocket. What I mean by expandable, I guess it's not really expandable, but it's a pocket that's not going to lay flat to your page. So if you want a pocket that lays flat to your page, then you don't need these extra little flaps on here. Just cut the size that you want, put a little glue on 3 sides and glue it down. But I like to have a little extra room in there, so I do it this way. Now, let's go ahead and measure. This is 5 inches, and this is 4.5 exactly. So this is my width. Now, I'm going to use score tape. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to go ahead and fix mine and get them ready so that when I get ready to put them in my journal, I'll have everything finished. All I'll have to do is peel off the backing of the score tape. And I need 1/4 inch. I don't need 1/2 inch. Okay, I think this is our 3/8 inch. Let's see. I usually use 1/4 inch, but yeah, this is 3/8. 3/8 is okay too. And score tape, I had someone who asked, what is score tape? All score tape is a double-sided adhesive, but this is SWME score tape. It is very, very sticky, and so it stays together. I use it on many albums and have been using it on many albums for years, so you don't have to worry about it coming apart, because this is a great score tape. I don't use any of the cheaper brands just because to me they're not that good. They don't hold forever like I want this to. Now on the bottom and the sides, I put score tape on the outside, because you're going to want that score tape on the outside, so when you lay that over and lay it down, that's how it's going to fold right there. But on this piece at the top, you're going to put it on the inside, because you want that piece to just glue down. And we can go ahead and glue that piece down. So all I'm going to do is take the backing off, and I'm going to fold that one over, and that's glued down. So there will be our pocket. Let's just say, let me find a piece of paper that I want to glue this on. Okay, let's just put it in this one for the sake of the video. This is probably not the one I would normally put it in, but we're going to do it. Yeah, that'll look good right there. I don't think a pull will work that well, but I'll punch it just to see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It's just paper. Nothing happens, because I had it glued together really good with that score tape. If it's not glued together well, it's going to show. But I had it glued together well, so I didn't have to worry about it. So even though I've got a double thickness up here, I was still able to punch out my pull. Now what you're going to do is take your score tape, take the backing, not the score tape, take the backing off of that one, the backing off of this one, and then I'm going to fold that bottom up and glue it to those side ones. The reason I do that is so when you slide something down in here, it's not going to get hung on anything. See? It goes right down in there, and it doesn't get hung on anything at all. Plus, you've got the full depth of your pocket when you do that. Okay, we're going to take score tape backing off of that side, and then you're just going to hold it, put it where you want. Now, I'll tell you, score tape when you press this down, it's there. It's gonna rip your page when you try to pull it up, so make sure you get it right the first time. Mine may be a little bit crooked, but we're not gonna worry about that. Well, I can tell it's a little bit crooked, but we're still not gonna worry about it. That's our pocket end. And the reason I call them expandable pockets is because, look, you have lots of room down in there. If I had glued a flat pocket here, I wouldn't have extra room. It would be just flat to the page, and you could just barely slide one little piece of something down in there. This one, I can slide many pieces of things down in here. If they were the right size, I could. There we go. Slide many pieces down in there. So that's the difference in the expandable pocket and the pocket that is just flat. Okay, let's make another. And let's see. Let's use this. And I don't want it that big. I think I'll make another one that is 5. That seems to be a pretty good size, so we'll make another one that is 5 inches. So we're going to cut it at 6. Remember, if you want it to be 5 inches wide, cut it an inch wider. So I'm going to cut it at 6. And then, let's see, how tall is this? Let's cut it down to 5.5. Because if I want it to be 4.5, I cut it an inch or a half an inch taller. So let's just cut this one at a half an inch. Cut it at 5, because I'm not going to fold over the top of this one, because this one is nice and thick. This paper is. I'm going to see, that doesn't look too straight, so let me see. Straighten that out a little bit. Okay, so this is 6 inches this way. I want my pocket to be 5, so all I'm going to do is score at a half an inch on this side and at 5.5 on this side. Now I'm going to score on the bottom side at 1/2 inch. I'm not going to score up here because I don't want to fold that over. I don't think this one's going to need it. So I'm going to score at 4.5. That's going to make me have a pocket that is 5 by 4.5. So whatever size you want your pocket to be, just add on the width an inch and on the height a half inch or an inch, depending on if you're going to fold that top piece over or not. Okay. Now you're just going to cut the little corners out here. And then on these, since I'm not folding this top over, I go ahead and angle these just a little bit. That way they don't show when I fold this over. Sometimes if you don't angle it, they will. So I like to do that. And then we'll go ahead and put our score tape on here. And then you can just lay these aside once you put your score tape on, because they're ready to go in a journal. All you have to do, you've already got your adhesive on there, you just pull the backing off and they're ready to stick down. There you go. And I do like to burnish really well. And then I put these in some type of, you know, little plastic bag or something to keep them until I get ready to use them. I put them in, sometimes I'll put them in my ephemera holder, but right now my ephemera holder is running over. There we go. And you can even go ahead and ink this if you want. Boy, I didn't get that in the center. I'm having trouble getting centered things up today. But guess what? What's my saying? We're not going to worry about it. It will all come out in the wash, and it will look fine once we get everything in there, and I'll decorate it up and it'll look good. Okay, there is one we can put away. Now this is just a little tiny piece, but we can make a pocket out of this. We can make a little pocket. This is almost 4 3/4, so I am going to score it a half an inch here, and since it's not a regular size, I'm just going to flip it around and scored a 1/2 inch there. Trying to see if it has an up or a down. I don't think it does. So we'll just score at a 1/2 inch down here. And this is going to make us a nice smaller pocket, which sometimes you need those small pockets. Now this paper does crack, so when you're scoring, be very careful with it, and you might want to score on both sides. That keeps your paper from cracking. But see, this down here cracked just a little bit, and that's okay because I'm going to put ink on it anyway. But if you're not going to ink it, then make sure that you score real gentle, and then you might score on both sides, and that'll keep it from cracking sometimes. Okay, we'll go ahead and get that off. So we're just going to use a lot of our scraps to make some pockets. Let's see if I can punch that one in the middle. Who knows? Oh, a little bit better. This will go good in our journal that we're working on now because it's the colors, and it comes from the same paper collection. And see, I just inked over that bottom really well, and you can't tell that that cracked any at all. Okay, we'll go ahead and put our score tape on. And if you don't have score tape or don't use score tape, you can just wait and put your glue down on these when you start to put them down in your journal. Just store them away. Okay, so there is another ready to go. And you can decorate them up. You can doll them up any way you want. We're going to make a little short one out of this. Why waste it? Let's see. Ooh, my flower's going the wrong direction. Okay, what if we make a little tall one out of this? Bit of score right there. And then we'll score it a 1/2 here. And flip it around and do a 1/2 on this side. This is going to make a tall, skinny pocket. But it's going to be an expandable, as I call it. And that way you can still get lots of things in there. See, it'll be that width, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? That'll be your focal point right there. But you're still going to be able to get lots in it because it has that little bit of give to it. So that you can tuck all kinds of goodies down in there. Don't forget your bone folder. Go over those score lines really well. That makes them lay down nice and flat, and that's what we want. Trim those little pieces off. And let's take our little punch. This is a 1-inch punch, and we'll put just a little tiny pull in this one. There. Look how off I got that. Oh my goodness, Edith, what is your problem today? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. That'll work. I just punched it a little bit bigger. I don't know, I need to stop punching anything today. I've had trouble all day with my trying to get things straightened up. I think my equilibrium's off. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put score tape on. If you don't use score tape, you're ready to put this one away. Okay, there is a nice little tall one that's ready to go. Let's see what else, what other scraps we have over here. Let's make one out of this. This I have torn, so cut that off right there. And the good thing I like about this is you can use just about any of your scraps. You don't have to measure and get a certain measurement unless you need a certain measurement for a journal. Most of them are gonna, I'm gonna cut them down to about 6.5. That way it's going to fit in most all of my journals. Let's see, this side looks a little bit off. And it is. better. Okay, half an inch, and half an inch. And I don't want one on the top, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Now this one's going to be kind of wide, but I have some journals that this will fit in without a problem. And I think I'm going to let this be the front. Nice crisp score lines. And our score tape. And I may not even punch this one since I'm having a problem with my punching today. I may leave it till I start to put it in my journal. Some days, just like that. Okay. There we go. That's a nice cute one. I like that. So there's another pocket. Now you can do these same pockets with book page, but I would make sure that I got a book page that was kind of thick, because if you don't, it's going to tear and it's not going to fold right and you're going to have problems. So just make sure that you've got a nice sturdy book page before you try to do that. Okay, now let's make some stacked pockets that are made basically the same way, but we're going to stack them. So we're going to stack them up. And let's see, I don't need a piece that big. And this is actually the outside of the paper pad, but we're going to use it. I need to cut it down because I don't want one quite that wide. So I think we can make 2 out of this, maybe. And then I'm going to cut the width off a little bit because we don't want them that wide either. Okay, we'll cut them down to 5 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut a few more because we're going to make some stacked pockets. And I'll show you how that's done. They're very, very cute, but they're easy to make. Let's see what this piece looks like on the other side. Yeah, that'll work. So let's cut this at 5, maybe? Was it 5? Yeah, 5. And I think I'll actually leave the height the same. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to decide how I want to lay these. I think I want that one on the front because I love those flowers on it. So we'll probably put these together. Maybe, or I might cut another piece. I don't really want 2 of those. Let's see what I have on the back. Yeah, that's the outside of the paper collection. So let's just cut another one. Let's cut one out of this. And I'm going to cut it. Let's see. Let's cut it 4 and then 5. And I think I want to cut this side. I want to keep that cup. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to replace this one. Nope. I'm going to replace that one because I want one a little bit shorter. Now, I didn't make all of these the same width or height. They don't have to be. You can make them whatever height that you want. Just so they fit in your journal. That's all you're looking for. Okay, we're going to score on the bottom and on each side. And I'm going to do that on all 3 of them. So these are my sides. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch, and then the bottom 1/2 inch, And I got one more. And they stick to my table because I've got to clean my table. Okay, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and whoops, 1/2 inch. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fold these and burnish. Oops. I'm just going to fold and burnish all of them at the same time. Okay, now what I'm going to do, hopefully I can get my little pull correct. I'm going to punch my pull in all 3 of them at the same time, but I need to get this evened up as much as possible. And I need to get my level eye on here. There we go. That'll work. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut these little pieces out right here in the corner. And angle this just a little bit. Right, now we are ready to put our score tape on and then stack these pockets. I'm just so let's see, we wanted this one on the front. Okay, I'm going to put my score tape on first and then I'll decide which direction I want them in. Okay, I wanted this one on the front and maybe that one in the middle, like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ink before I start putting these together. That's just going to get my inking out of the way because it's going to be hard to ink them once they get put together. Alright, what you're going to do first, hold your pocket like you want it to, like how far you want this one to come up. So I want it to be about like that. So I'm going to hold it there, and I'm just going to make a little mark with my pencil on either side here. And then I'm going to take this tape and I'm just going to fold it back to there. I'm just going to fold it back. I'm not taking it off, not the backing. I always say take the tape off, but it's the backing. Fold it back like that. Then you're going to take this little piece, and I have to turn it around this way so I can see it. And you're going to lay this one down just even with the edge. And remember, this is very, very sticky. So there you go. You've got your pocket, 2 of your pockets together. Leave all of this on because you'll take care of that when you start gluing everything down to your page. But then on this one, we want this one glued up here somewhere. And I think I want it just about like that. So you can see that this one is probably going to come all the way down to the bottom of that one, and that's fine. It's because of the way I cut them, and that doesn't matter. I just used what scraps I had. So I'm going to take the backing up on this one all the way down to about right there. Not going to take it all the way up. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay. And then I'm going to take this and just hold it up there till it looks about where I need it. And then press that down on there. Then you have, oops, there we go. Then you have your stacked pockets. So there's a pocket there, there's a pocket there, and there's a pocket there. They're all going to have their own height, So this will glue down to your page. You'll pull all this off when you start to glue it down to your page. We'll go ahead and put it on a page. Let me find something. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and grab one of these dyed papers and glue it on here. That way you'll be able to see how it goes on. Right. Now, you just want to go ahead and take all of the backing off of every piece of your score tape. And the back looks a little messy. Don't worry about that. Nobody's going to see the back. Okay. Pull those out from under there. And that one out from under there. And then these off. You see how sticky this stuff is? I'm telling you, it's sticky. That's why when you put these down, they don't come up. Okay. Now, I am going to, where do I want it? Okay, I'm going to hold it like this, hopefully. See if I can get this one straight. I want it up here. That will work right there. And then you just press everything down. Okay. Now let's find something I can put down in there and I'll show you. We've got a pocket there that stops. A pocket right here that stops. And then a pocket here that has a stop. And that's sweet. So you can put 3 different size tags in there. I know it'd be nice and cute. I love these. I used to make these all the time for my mini albums when I did a lot of mini albums. Sometimes I'd make them all the way up the page. Love them. Okay, let's make another. Let's make one out of some brighter paper. I'm using a lot of dingy paper, right? Let's do some out of some brighter paper. Here's some bright paper. And they don't have to be double-sided. You can make single-sided, so keep that in mind too. This paper's single-sided and it'll work fine. Ooh, but I'm not going to be able to cut it with that. I'm going to have to use my big trimmer. Now, if you want all of yours to be the exact same size, then just cut the paper the exact same size. Okay, I think that's a good start right there. And then there we go. And I'm going to use part of this one. Let's see how wide I have that. There's that one. And then the important thing is to get them all the same width. They don't have to be the same height, but they do need to be the same width. Because if they're off on the width, then they're going to look kind of funny when you start gluing them down. Okay, so these are 3 different sizes, as you can see. This one has a little glitter on it. That's pretty. This was some of Melina's paper that she brought over and didn't want. And guess who confiscated it? Mama. Mama did. Let's see. That might be a little bit wide. It's going to be 5 inches. I might need to cut these down just a little, because that'll be a 5-inch wide. I'm thinking. That's 5.5. Yeah, I'm going to cut them down to about 4.5, I think. Or maybe, let's see. I might cut them down to 5.5. That'll work. 5.5. That'll make them 4.5 inch wide. Okay. Now let's try that again. Yeah. So now I know when I score my 1/2 inch on both sides, it's going to be a 4.5 inch pocket. So we'll score there. This is a paper that is apt to crack because it has glitter in it, plus it's kind of a thin paper. So I'm just going to score it really lightly. Okay, there. And this is just a good way to use any scrapbook paper that you have. This is a good way to use it up and to make some beautiful pockets for your journals. Okay, now get the tops even. So these are the bottoms, I can tell by where I scored. And we're going to get that top even, and then I'm going to go in here and see if I can put a punch a little bit straight. Come on, you can do it, you can do it. Does that look straight? Okay. That'll work. All right, let's go ahead and fold. These are really pretty to do them with book pages too, and then decorate up the book pages. But like I said, I would use a strong book page, not a very old one unless it's made out of a good strong paper. You know, some of the older ones have material in the paper, and they're fine to use for this because they don't tear as easy. But I wouldn't use an old one that cracks and is brittle, like the one I was working with this morning. It was very brittle. Somebody asked, why didn't I cut all of my little giblets off into my trash? And the reason being is, this is my trash. It's kind of tall. I guess I could bring it over each time, but this is something that one of you gave me. And I use it like crazy. I love it. I could bring it over each time, but sometimes I don't even think about it. Okay. Just going to burnish all of these down so it's a little bit easier to put my score tape on. Oops, that didn't fold like it needed to. There we go. Now we have this score tape in our store. If you know, I know somebody's going to ask me, where do I get score tape? In our store, that link is always below. You can just go down there and click on the link and go over, and it's under its own little category. I don't know why I didn't put that on exactly straight. And you can cut this instead of tearing it. I usually just tear it, but you can cut it. A lot of people don't like to cut it, and that's fine. It does make it a little bit, does make the ends a little bit frayed, but that's fine with me, not a problem. Okay, there's that one. See, I don't want to have to pick up my scissors each time. You can also use the end of your bone folder to tear this with too. Just put that sharp end down there. That works as well. Like that. Okay. Alright, now let's decide how we want these to go together. And I think I want this one with a little bit of glitter on the front. I don't think that glitter comes off. So I think I'll put them together like that. Now, I will tell you, if you want to make these different colors so they stand out more, you can. Make this one color, that one color, that one color. I just happen to have this paper, and I just cut it up. Made it into pockets. And I probably won't put these down because I've got another journal in mind that I want to use these on, and I don't have any pages for it yet, so I may not put this one down. And see, these turned out to be 4.5, and then they're different heights. This one's 3.5. This one is 3.25, and this one is 3 3/4. So they're all different heights, which is fine. You don't have to have them the same height, but you can if you want to. Some people are real finicky and they want it all exact. Not me. I can adjust it on the back like I want it. So let's see. Let's put the taller one next. And I'm thinking I want him about right there. So there we go with that. Cute. And then we'll pull this back a little bit. And see, I can adjust them to where they all look the same height. Oops, this one stuck down before I wanted it to. There we go. So there are those, and then they would just go down on a page like that. And they're, you know, kind of expandable. Of course, you know, you can see straight through them right now because we don't have the bottom glued down. But as you can see on these, they expand. They're not flat pockets. I can put lots of goodies in there. More than one tag. See, I can get my hand down in there. So that is how those are made, and I think that is super cute. I might want to put that on that page. Let's see. So they'll be completely separate in the journal. Let's just go ahead and do it. They won't be on the same page in the journal, so it won't matter. And this will actually go with a journal that we're working on anyway, so we're going to use it. Just take all your backings off of the score tape. Try not to get your fingers stuck to everything like I do. Okay. Alright. Well, let's do this. There we go. Ooh, it's sticky. Okay. Line this up again right there. And then I'm going to go kind of lower with this one. And hopefully my head's not in the shot. I'm trying to line it up. There we go. Isn't that cute? I love them. I love them. Look at that. Look at all that room you have in there. And you've got your pockets just the right depth that you need. There we go. That one goes down to there. That one goes down to there. And then that one down to there. Nice. Okay guys, I think that's it on the pockets. I just wanted to show you some different ways to make some cute pockets, and I call these expandable pockets. I know they don't expand out big, but they do expand from your page a little bit. Alright, we will talk to you later. Hope that helped you guys, the ones that have been asking for these, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Bye bye.